Hey, good morning. Paul McGinnis here with some thoughts for your daily walk. We're just kind of moving through the book of Luke, one chapter at a time, and for each chapter, we just zero in on one particular verse and try to draw some some understanding and some application from that. But before we get to Luke chapter 13, just a quick question, especially for those of you that are parents. Have you ever had that moment where you ask your kids to do something, let's just say hypothetically, to go and clean their room, and you check in a little while later and they have completely missed that. They've completely forgotten the point of what they were supposed to be doing, right? And you go back in and they have no recollection of that conversation. Again, all this just totally hypothetical. It's obviously never happened to me, but maybe you can relate. So I'll go in the room and they're having fun, they're connecting, but there is no work being done. And honestly, in that situation, I'm usually kind of glad that they're connecting with each other, that the kids are having fun. I'll remind them of what they're supposed to be doing. But it always kind of, there's that moment where it's like, this is so strange. Like the one thing I sent you in there to do, but you've completely lost that. You've completely missed it. And I think that's the moment that we see in Luke chapter 13. As we get to the end of the chapter, and Jesus knows that his time is coming to an end. And there's this moment of real honesty, of real authenticity, where Jesus just kind of pours out his heart, and he says in Luke 13:34, "Oh Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that killed the prophets and stoned God's messengers, how often I have wanted to gather your children together as a hen gathers up her chicks beneath her wings, but you wouldn't let me." And there's this moment of real transparency and honesty with Jesus as he really shares his heart, and he's heartbroken over Jerusalem. This is the city of God. This was the capital city of the nation of Israel, the people of God. And these are a people who God had called hundreds of years ago when he started this nation of Israel, when he started with Abraham, and he wanted this nation to be a light to the Gentiles. He wanted Jerusalem and that temple to be a place where God was worshipped among all people, where the temple was a house of prayer for all the nations. And now, after spending all these years in Jerusalem, all these years as a Jew and with the Jewish people, Jesus is like, man, you've missed it. You've missed the point. You've missed the very thing that you were put on earth here to do. And his heart is broken because they've totally missed out on God's calling for their life and on the role that they could have played in the story of redemption. And I wonder sometimes if Jesus has similar thoughts about his modern day people, about the church, about those of us who are followers of Christ. I wonder if he looks at us and the activities that we fill our lives with, and the things that we're enjoying, and the way that we're expanding our own lives and our own name and our own fame. And I wonder if sometimes he has a similar response. Oh, my people, and those of you who are my followers, you've missed it. And he longs to draw us together, and he longs to refocus our attention so that we would be the people of God in our time and in our generation, that we would be a light to the world, that we would bring his grace and his acceptance, that we would invite people from every tribe and nation and color and language to worship the one true God. So as we see Jesus' broken heart over Jerusalem, I wonder what his heart is toward us. I know it's a heart of love. I know it's a heart of second chances, but I wonder if sometimes there's also a sigh that says, you're missing the point. Right? When you get so wrapped up about these issues and being right and making a point instead of making a difference, when you get so wrapped up in those things, you're missing it. I hope we don't miss it today, folks. I hope that we, in this time and in this place, can be the people God wants us to be, can bring hope to our neighborhoods, hope to our communities, light and life to the world. Take that with you today from Luke chapter 13.